Hey Bayek, it's me, and in today's video I'm looking at this. This is Sweeney from 1977. Now this was a film from the TV series. It actually was the second film, though really the first one, if you see what I mean, because the Sweeney was a TV series which had a pilot called Regan from 1974, and this became the TV series, which was very successful, which ran from 1975 to 1978, and was actually 4 series. Yes, and if you want to be totally true, it's 53 episodes. Bye. I'll let you know all sorts of stuff, don't I? Well, yes. So, this film, as often they did sometimes in this sort of period, is create films from TV series for the cinema. And this was one of them. It was, as usual, produced by Houston Films, who did these for Thames Television. Yes, great. So the film is 89 minutes long, and it's 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, which isn't bad as usual. And this is recognised as the better of the two, because another film, Sweeney 2, came out in 1978, which I haven't got, but I've not really... Well, I'm not really able to get it, because you might notice, well, I'll be talking about it, it's on network. This is a Blu-ray on network that I've got. And you know about network, don't we? Yes. Right. Let me go into a few more details. It's written by somebody called Ranald Graham. And he was quite a big TV writer. He was the writer in Professionals, which ran from 1977 to 78. He was also in Dempsey and Makepeace as a writer. Yes. And it's he's in the programme. He wrote the blooming thing. Yes. That's from 1985 to 1986. Dempsey and Makepeace. Yeah, he was a writer in that, yes. Right. Then we've got, it's produced by Ted Charles, who was a producer at that time. And the executive producer was Nat Cohen. Nat Cohen, he just produced everything. He was a major figure in television and films in the British film industry at this time. And he was involved in this. Yes, and it's directed by David Wicks. And despite me looking around and finding anything, I can find virtually nothing. Well, I can find nothing about him, apart from that he's more involved as a TV director, but there's no lists or anything. But anyhow, there we are. And it's directed in very much the television style. Obviously, there are differences from the TV to the screen in terms of content. Well, we'll go into that as well, some of the differences. But yeah, there are differences, obviously, with the film from the TV series. Now, the cast. We've got John Thor as, well, he's Regan. He was the man. And John Thor was a really well-loved actor on TV. Inspector Morse was his massive series. And I mean massive. It went from 1987 to 2000. It was... the ratings, it was well-loved. It was just a amazing series for him as an actor to be part of. He also did other things as well and made appearances. And he had another series which was quite popular, which was Cavanagh QC 1995 to 2001, which was a legal type drama. So we had that as well. But he had he really was a well-loved actor. Sadly, he died, I think, of cancer. I think it was in the early 2000s. Yeah. And we've got Dennis Waterman. He plays Carter, Sergeant Carter. He's a loyal sidekick. Or is he so loyal? Yeah, he is. He tends to be. Dennis Waterman, well, he's another sort of well-known TV actor. But also, he was in some films that we note, of course. He was in Scars of Dracula. Yes, a Hammer film. Yes, he was in that. He was also in a Susan George film called Fright, 1970, which I have reviewed before, which is excellent. He was in that. But he is well known as really for Minder, 1979 to 10 years on Minder. And also, he had a sort of a real popular lease of life in terms of TV with New Tricks, which went from 2003 right through to 2015. He's very much involved in that. He was well loved, definitely, as an actor. Then we've got a face that really stands out. Barry Foster, he plays McQueen. Barry Foster, well, he's great actually in this role. He's another villain, but he was involved in Robbery, 1967. He was involved in that. Stanley Baker one, if you remember. Ryan's Daughter. He was in Ryan's Daughter, the David Lean brilliant film from 1970. He was in now Hitchcock's Frenzy. He played the psychopathic villain. He was brilliant in that. And he's great in this. But he made his later name, really, from 1972 right through to 1992, and Vandervalk TV series. Yeah, he's great in this. Then we've got Ian Bannum. Bannum, yes, he plays the Charles Baker, the rising star in the government, who's up to, well, he's quite a weak character, and as usual, up to their own selfish, corrupt ways, and that's their way to describe it. He was in Fright, actually, 1971. He was in the Offence, which is considered a really good film, 1972. He was in the Amicus, From Beyond the Grave, 1974, which absolutely I love. He was in Gandhi, 1982. Open Glory, I said that is another great film, 1987. And Braveheart, 1995. Yes, well, what can you say about that? Then we got Colin Whelan. Yes, Colin Whelan. Now, he plays the journalist in this, and he, Kez. I just say Kez, 1969, wonderful. He was in Villain as well, 1971. And he was in Straw Dogs. Yes, Straw Dogs, 1971. And, of course, he was a writer as well, very much a TV writer as well. And he did the film Chariots of Fire from 1981, which was, I think, Oscar-winning film, that major film that was. Then we got Diane Keane playing Bianca Hamilton. She was in a TV series, lots of TV series. Cuckoo Waltz was a series that she was in that was well known for. We've got Michael Coles playing Johnson. He was in, yes, Doctor Who and the Daleks, 1965. Yes, we've got the Doctor Who connection. And he was in Dracula, AD 1972 from 1972. Brilliant Hammer film. Then we got Brian Glover. Oh, yes, we've got to have Brian Glover. He pops up. We know he's a great Yorkshire lad, he was. Yeah, Brian Glover in Cares, 1960, American Werewolf in London. The brilliant Alien 3, totally underrated. Love him. Yep, he was in this. It was really good to see him. And then we got Linda Bellingham. She plays Janice. She was in Doctor Who, 1986, Trial of the Time Lord, the Six Doctors, big storyline that was, massive, all ran through the series. She was in that. And then lots and lots of TV roles. And I think she's still going. I think she's been in Loose Women and all that. I don't know. I don't watch the show. But anyhow, she's involved in all these kind of things. By heck. So, this was filmed a lot on location very quickly after the third series had finished. They got film in it, and because it was quite cheap to do. But location work is great. It's one thing I love about this film is the location. So all the location were around London, all recognisable, and the film, of course, got an X certificate because it has more nudity and there's a lot more graphic violence in it. Just what the public love, and that's what they got. And they got an X certificate, which you wouldn't get on the TV, of course, at the time. So what's the film about? It's really, it reflects actually a very British kind of tradition about crooked politicians. You could go right back to the Profumo affair in the early 60s. Politicians who get involved in bad situations. But of course, in this story, we've got this politician. He is he's a rising star in the government. Yeah, his name's is Baker, but he is a weak man, really, and he's controlled by the wonderful character played by Barry Foster called McQueen. He's just brilliant. I don't know, something about him though. He's just good at these parts. He really is. But how do Reagan and Carter get involved? Well, they do through various ways in the story, which ends up that Reagan gets kind of framed and suspended from duty. And this is all under machinations of McQueen, because he's having to cover up the death of this. You can call her a prostitute, really. She was a prostitute. And it's kind of a blackmail threat to the ministers who asks him to get rid of this problem. And he does. And once Reagan starts finding out and investigating, he has to be stopped. And that's what it is. So the film progresses like that, and we get an insight into the corruption on even going right through to the police force to some extent. And it's a really interesting snapshot, and very much of that time. As the Sweeney were a very rough and ready part of the police. They were the flying squad, as they were known. They went there and really went in. It's reminiscent of what we see in Life on Mars and Gene Hunt and all that kind of stuff. But this was a brilliant, well-loved series, The Sweeney, and it transfers so well to the screen. And I'm really pleased to have this in my collection. I absolutely love this film. It was, and the quality on the Blu-ray transfer is absolutely fantastic. And you get a great snapshot of London, just looking and loving London at the time. I think it's great. I just pure nostalgia, because I remember watching The Sweeney. It was a series that we all sat around and watched and loved, and it's great. So I'm really pleased. I think it is available on DVD still, the series, but I'm quite happy just to have this, and especially as it's a Blu-ray copy on network, and you know what, network titles are becoming increasingly rare, and I suspect this on eBay is going at ridiculous prices, maybe. Well, it soon will be if it isn't, but I'm sure it is. Anyhow, here it is. There we are. Brilliant. And I'm really lucky with this. I got this. I'm glad I did at the time. And now we've got the disc. Look at the disc. Network great. And if we look under the disc here, oh, you got them advertising. This Blu-ray and the DVD for Sweeney too. Yeah, great. And then you get a little booklet. Look, they did these little booklets. Weren't they a great company? Such a sad loss. It really is. So there it is. That's my look at Sweeney, which I'm really pleased I've got in the collection. Yeah, there we are. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and we'll let you know when I produce more of these videos, and you'll find out if you like them or if you don't, you know. But if you do like it, please give this a like. Then it helps with algorithms so other people might enjoy the videos, or perhaps they won't. And say it all costs note, so you can't say fairer than that nowadays, can you? Boy, you can't. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read what you say about these things, or perhaps you don't, but I don't know. I do love it. Thank you so much when you do put comments. It's great. It really is. And that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.